Hey there, everybody. Thanks for joining me for another one-man review. This isn't really a review so much as I guess like an unboxing, except I already took it out of the box that it came in. But it will be a de-box casing, I guess, of the first 50 issues of Love and Rockets. This is the new 40th anniversary hardcover collection of the first volume of Love and Rockets, the first 50 issues. So this is really cool. I had pre-ordered this with the Fanabucks sale at the beginning of the year, and this is probably the one I've been looking forward to the most. I had been hoping that the 8 Ball collection was hardcover as well, but I didn't pay attention to the softcover release. So this is cool to have a similar kind of collection of facsimile editions, but all hardcover. This is heavy. Flipping the box here so you can see the box. The box is all right. I'm not a box guy anyways, so I'm probably gonna chuck this. I know that drives people crazy, collectors crazy. This is strange here. They've cut off the recommended for mature readers. Anyways, that's the box. The top of mine, at least, the glue's not glued on there. It's not very well constructed. It's pretty bubbly. So I don't know. I don't really care about boxes anyways. I don't like them. It's just one more thing on the shelf. So I'll take that off. I know that devalues it, but I bought this for my reading purposes, not for collecting purposes. The easiest way to get these out of here is just going to be to dump them. Oh, I know I'm driving people crazy doing this. Apologies to the collectors. Okay, we'll get rid of that box. And now we just have a bunch of books here. And on the inside of the box, nothing special, just red. You can see it's not super well put together. I bet I could break this pretty easy. So I don't know. I don't need the box, whatever. But that's what the box looks like. And then you basically have, what do we have? 8 books. We've got 8 really beautiful hardcover books here. Here's issues 1 through 15. So they all have these images on the spine that link together, which is going to look really nice on the shelf. They've got really awesome lay flat binding on them. So the pages really lay flat, which is a bit weird for a book that, I mean, it's nice, but it's a little bit less necessary for Love and Rockets than some other books, because as far as I can think, there's never going to be a 2-page spread. One of the more interesting parts of this is probably that it is the facsimile edition. So you have the inside back covers, you have and then the covers are put in on, you can see, like glossy paper, and everything else is put in on matte. But they have the table of contents here and some letters, the indicia, all that kind of thing, any notes from Fantagraphics, and then the art itself is on a matte paper and pretty perfectly reproduced from the quick glance that I took. It's going to be interesting to go back and read these. I think I'll probably do with these what I've been doing with the complete 8-Ball, which is going back and just reading them an issue at a time, making a video per issue. I think, especially, it's been a long time since I've read this, but I remember these early Love and Rockets, like the Gilbert stuff being just really bizarre, surreal stories that didn't make much sense, and Jaime's stories are almost like these Dave Stevens more vibe, like sci-fi adventure stories of Maggie being a mechanic, if I remember correct. It's not as real world as it turns into. It's been a long time since I read these. I initially read these. This is probably like the first titty books I got from the library when I was in my late teens. I remember finding some of the Love and Rocket collections there and being like scared to even check them out and take them home. This is kind of funny that they have ads in the back just for like history's sake, like X-Men Companion Volume 1 and 2. Like, you can't even order any of this stuff anymore, but yeah, I guess for history's sake it's interesting. So I like it. I think that's cool. I'm looking forward to reading them. I definitely think as I get later into it, where it turns into more of a contemporary story, I'm going to try and get Tori to jump on and read some of these as well. but I don't know about the early issues. I'll have to read. So that's the first one, and you can imagine what the rest of them are. That's no big surprise what's in there. But what I guess I just need to pay more attention when I order stuff, I guess, because I didn't even realize that this was coming with this supplementary book, which is pretty cool. I flipped through it really quick, but they have some clippings and responses from critics, and then it looks like they have just stuff like this that is like advertisements that were sent out, interviews that were done, just anything from magazines, like a real thorough history of how this was represented. I'm assuming for most of the first 50 issues, all kinds of interviews. So for people who are really into like the historical aspects of things, this looks like an awesome book. I don't really have time. I would love to, but I don't really have time to sit and read such a dense book with the interviews and all the historical essays and stuff. But this also has, and I don't know because I haven't read it yet, but it looks, yeah, these are short works by all three brothers, Gilbert, Jaime, and Mario, from 83 to 95. And I guess these are things that didn't appear in Love and Rockets proper. I don't know where these things showed up in anthologies or whatever, but they've got some color works, just things that you wouldn't find in those first 50 issues. Brain Capers #1. So a bunch of stuff I've never heard of, but this is actually kind of interesting because it's going to create like a larger context for what else they were up to while they were working on Love and Rockets. Like it looks like this is a series that Brain Capers is probably looks like all Mario's art. Maybe someone else on writing. I don't know. I haven't explored it. And then all the covers. Looks like they have covers from different language releases as well. No, I'm just seeing the Spanish here. Okay. But all the different editions, which given how many different editions there have been, this is kind of interesting too. I'm hoping that they'll do a big collection like this of Volume 2 as well, because I've always had a hard time figuring out with Love and Rockets, like what to buy to get the complete Love and Rockets, because they've pieced them up in so many different ways. I know it's tempting to have the volumes where it's just like the stories by each brother straight through, but this is how they're released, and so I'm kind of glad to have it in this format, and I would definitely throw down money for a similar collection for Volume 2, and whenever they're done with it, Volume 3. I think this is my preferred way to own these, so this is great. I love it. I can't wait to dig back into them. This stuff, like I said, I've read a long time ago. Some of it I liked, some of it I didn't, so I'm really curious to do a reread on this. Anyways, thanks for following along. If you have this is $400, so it's definitely an expensive thing. But if you have the money, just on a quick flip through, if you're a Love and Rockets fan, this looks like the ultimate way to have this. But I don't know. I don't have the other editions, so I can't compare them. But if you're thinking about this, if you're thinking about pulling the trigger on this, it looks pretty good. It's pretty beautiful, pretty well made. So definitely do it. If you enjoy what we're doing here on the channel, the best two ways to support us are through our Patreon. We use the money from that to help buy some of the books that we review. And then supporting what Sean does with Living the Line Publishing is really the best way to support what we're up to with the channel here. So we'll go ahead and take a look at some of the books that Sean has put out or has coming out. Issue 4 of The Abolition of Man is a one-off story called Maria's Story. It exists within the greater world of the Hotech series that we built up, but it's a one-off story, and probably the most disgusting, terrifying, frightening comic book I have ever seen. Part of why that is we had this both written and illustrated by an AI. So we had one AI that generated the story, all the descriptions and the text, and then another, we used Midjourney to illustrate it. And it's terrifying. It's seriously terrifying. This is basically a story of abuse and sex slavery that the AI came up with. So quite possibly the most grotesque comic of all time, and definitely the most frightening thing I've ever read. Thanks for following along. Take it away, Jack.
You want to see all these books? Smash that subscribe button and the like button and the bell, and then you get them.